out fact from emotion. When somebody spews fact at you, like for me, Kenny, you're an alcoholic, bankrupt. Well, let's see. What other things can I throw myself under the bus for? You're an alcoholic. You're an adulterer. You're selfish and inconsiderate. I'd go, yeah, I'm a recovering alcoholic. Yeah, I cheated on my wife. Yeah, I did that. I can be incredibly selfish. Yeah, I've done that too. What's there to argue about? Nothing. That's all truth. I can be all of those things. Now, I'm not always selfish or always inconsiderate. So I may look at it and go, when do you think I was inconsiderate? Can you give me an example? And they give me an example. And if it matches my reality, I'll go, yep, you're right. Now that you mention it, that was inconsiderate and selfish of me. Thanks for pointing that out. Or if my reality is different, I'd go, interesting. Can you give me some more information? What in that makes you think I was inconsiderate or selfish? Can you tell me more about that? So that's how you handle a reality argument, okay? Is ask for more information. Don't argue your reality. This is what kills couples. I didn't do that. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Yes, I did. Complete waste of time. And that's why marriage, again, we just aren't taught how to do this stuff. So we're not bad. So, all right, let me get back to community. Again, if you have other questions, keep popping in. A community has to fulfill our needs. You have to get what you want out of it. This is one of the biggest misconceptions out there. There's this big push for conscious capitalism and doing things for other people. We never, ever, ever, ever do anything for anybody else. Ever. Mother Teresa never did a single thing for anybody else. Not one. Here's how we work as humans. We are always trying to feel good about ourselves. So if we volunteer to an organization, if we give somebody money, if we do anything like that, what we are doing is making ourselves feel better. Just listen to people who donate their time or their money or anything, who help somebody move or bring them food after somebody's died, whatever it is. Ask them why they do it. What do they say? It makes me feel good. It's the right thing to do. Why is it the right thing to do? Because it makes me feel good. They're doing it for themselves. Now, there's an ancillary benefit from doing it for others. Mother Teresa helped millions of people. Isn't that wonderful? But she didn't do it for them. She did it for herself. And even on her deathbed, what she realized is she was miserable. She had given too much of herself away. She had realized she had gone too far and had done it in the hopes of getting people to like her, and it backfired on her. That's what people do. So remember something. If you're going to join any community, you're not joining it to help others. You're joining it to help yourself. You want something out of it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why we all join a community. That's why those of you are listening here, you want something for yourself. You're hoping I can give you something that will help you. It's why I do what I do. I'm taking care of myself first. There's an ancillary benefit that my clients and those that listen to my videos or read my book or whatever, they get tremendous benefit as well. But I'm loving me first, and that's what we all do. That's the key to any community, is we have to love ourselves first. And that's why we seek one out. Pardon me, still getting over this cold. But now, another thing that's important in a community is a shared emotional connection. Like for me, I know why all my clients are the same. There's a great exercise, and I tell people that come to me who are looking for a career or just started a career, real estate agents, things that are kind of customer oriented, and they want tips. How do I find the right customer? There's a great old exercise. where you sit down and you write up your ideal client. What do they look like? What's their age? What are their interests? What are their hobbies? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? All of it. You draw it all up. You know what you find? You have just described yourself. If you are in a client-based business, any sort of sales, you want to increase your sales, go find you. That's who will buy from you. Remember, our brain seeks what it knows. It seeks what it likes, right? So the person that's going to buy from you is you. So if you're a drug addict, go find drug addicts. If you are a churchgoer, go find churchgoers. Whatever it is you're into, go hang out at the places you hang out. That's where your clients will be. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, that's who you want to look for. Because in a community, even if it's a one-on-one business transaction or something much more bigger and global, we're all looking for a common story, somebody we can relate to. Why do people pick presidents? Why? Over 90% they don't even know what the party stands for. They have no clue what sort of government the Republicans or Democrats advocate. They like the person. They have the same dysfunctions or the same outlooks as they do. That's why they pick a president, for no other reason. That's predominantly why we pick presidents. Everyone wants to know why our choices were so bad. That's a reflection of the lack of teaching we have around emotions and all of this. They aren't the problem. We are. We don't have the information to work through our emotional issues, so that's who we pick. Each candidate was equally broken. You could make the same arguments for either candidate as to their incompetence and or their competence for the position. Both had strengths, both had weaknesses. None really more or worse than the other. It's just like us. People split based on a story, a common language. That's why they picked them. Right now, we basically have two common languages in this country. That's why we have such a severe split. So what people are always looking for in a community is, do we share the same trauma? Do we share the same enthusiasm? Do we share the same hobbies and crafts or interests? You know, you go to look at, they're all the sports bars. The Jets bar is here. The Giants bar is here. They have a common story. They've created a community around an emotional connection. Here's something you have to realize. None of us choose anything based on our thoughts. Everything is based on what we feel. Okay? Think through it. Watch today. That's why, for the most part, positive thinking is a complete waste of time. Until you can learn to shift what you feel, your thoughts are of little significance. You've all had the experience. You've been in your car saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, or do it, I can do it, I can do it. But the feeling is more powerful. And so whether you go back to drinking, whatever it is you do, the feeling drives your behavior. Okay? That's what a gut feeling is. That's why all of our decisions are made with our feelings, not our intellect. Because even our intellect is a byproduct of a feeling experience that we have categorized repeatedly in our brain. And so it creates a pattern where we feel most comfortable making this choice. So if your life is stalling out, it's because you're following a continual emotional pattern that you're stuck in. That's what's keeping you from getting to the next step, whether that's picking a partner that's different, picking a better career, enjoying your career, making more money, whatever it is. Okay? Now, why don't we change communities? Why don't we switch? Why don't we get out of it? If we see one isn't working, or if we see, like I just said, we're caught in a certain behavior or a career or relationship. Well, that goes back to the brain and, well, emotions as well too, really the body. Our culture rewards the victim. Look at it. If you're ever sick, hurt, if you've had a bad relationship, if you've had a bad career, doesn't matter what it is, we reward the victim. Even if they've broken the law, we reward the victim. If we see victim status, we reward it. So look at illegal immigration. You can argue all day and long that it's kind and humane to let people here. I can't argue with that. That's an emotional choice. And you either believe it or you don't. So it's a reality argument. Some believe it's a humane thing to do, some don't. But there's no right or wrong there. That's a personal preference. So I wouldn't even waste my time arguing with you, whichever side of the fence I was on, because I can't convince you. All I'm learning is your belief in fairness is anyone should come in. Okay, I can't argue with you. Sounds fair to me. Or your belief is no one should come in. Okay, can't really argue with you. Now, here's where the victimhood comes in. People want to get upset that these kids are taken away from their parents, but the parents knowingly broke the law. Knowingly. They created their own victimhood. They put their children in a position to where the family can be separated. No government's responsible for that. Nobody is responsible for that but for themselves. Now, again, you can sit there and go, oh, but their life was terrible in Mexico. I don't argue. But they still made a choice. They could stay in the horrible life in Mexico, or they could choose to come to the U.S. where the laws right now say there's a process to coming in. And if they chose that, there are chances if they get caught that they will be split up. So what that tells me is they made a determination. Life in Mexico is worse than us going to America and being split apart. That's the choice they made. I don't know if it's right or wrong. It's their life. They're the parents. It's none of my business. But that's the choice they made. But see, now that's a victim status. And so now we ignore the law and reward them victim status. And that's why we all play the victim, because it even supersedes the law. Now, you can argue that the law is wrong. Okay, fine. Reality argument. I don't have anything to say. If you want to change the law, go right ahead. Get people in place to get rid of the borders, let everybody in. Fine with me. Okay. I'm not talking about that. And that's where we get into trouble, is reality argument versus the truth and victimhood. These people have chosen victimhood, and we reward it in our society. So that's why people don't leave movements or communities. They get too much out of it. There's a big payoff because everybody comes to their rescue. Think about it. When you've been sick or hurt, anything like that has happened to you, doesn't everybody rally around you and give you everything you want? Isn't that exactly what happens? It works. You don't have to do anything. You get everyone to do it for you. So that's why we do it. It's a payoff. It works perfectly every single time. I learned that as a kid. I'll tell you a story. Before I knew how any of this worked. When my mom, when I was 10 or 12 years old, I found my mom passed out naked on the toilet. She was an alcoholic. So what ended up happening is over the next 6 or 8 years, I was in and out of hospitals, countless broken bones. I had stomach problems. I had back problems. The stomach and back problems, they could never find out what's wrong. Now I know why, because every health condition is an emotional issue. That's why. And stomach is fear. Back, the lower back is about fear of money, and we were dead broke as a family. So that's why they couldn't fix it with medicine, is it had to do with emotions, not anything physical. But that's a different story. So anyway, my stomach and back would go out all the time. Or my stomach, I'd had my appendix out. I had all these stomach issues, but my back would go out all the time. And the last time it went out, I was in the garage and fell on the floor, and I'm laying there. and I can't move. And I'm screaming at my mom because my crutches are up